Nice to see everyone. I think everybody knows me. I'm Lindsay Jones. I'm the Chief People Officer for the group. And I'm really excited today to welcome Ollie, who's going to be our guest speaker. She has a number of very impressive accolades. She was the Managing Director in the Capital Markets business at Accenture. She's now a partner at Ernst & Young. She's been named one of Britain's brightest female business leaders under 35. She's already creating quite a legacy. We've come together today on this round table because, as we know, it's Black History Month in the US, and we're trying to create some events to recognise that important topic as well. One of the things that you've said that I think is really powerful, and I'd love to hear a bit more about it, is that, without inclusion, you can't have diversity. So without feeling that, I think someone said it's like diversity is being invited to the party and inclusion's being asked to dance. So I think that's really an important topic, and I'd love to hear your thoughts on that and why you think it's such an important topic to raise.
I think analogies are great, and let's start with that, but let's elaborate. So I agree, diversity is the invitation, right, to dance. Inclusion is then the invitation actually to be asked to have a dance. But if you go further, belonging for me is then also the invitation to pick the song of your choice. So for me, creating that space, creating that environment, creating that culture where you are encouraging your teams and you are really influencing your teams by the culture that you're creating, which is one of you can be safe here, you can be yourself here, is priceless.
Yeah, because the great idea can come from anywhere, right? All thinkers are equal, regardless of, you've got 30 years experience or 3 months experience, the way everyone sees the world uniquely, and we should harness that. And one of our values is entrepreneurship. We know that entrepreneurs can flourish more in environments that are diverse and are inclusive. If we don't have this, then we're missing out on all of these great ideas, as you said. But I wonder, how do we measure it? So, we can do the counting, but how do we measure inclusion? How do we measure belonging?
Some of the things we're starting to look at are basic things like talking to people. So basic things like beyond the survey, right? So beyond hey, can you fill in the survey so we can measure engagement, we can measure how our people feel, and potentially, fall in the Times top 50 employers annual list. It's beyond that. This is really looking at a dynamic survey whereby on an ongoing basis, you as an employee, as a colleague, as a leader, have the ability to input your feelings, right? So input your feelings, input commentary.
The more and more we can encourage leaders to be having these conversations, and once we start seeing these words on the lips of at our highest level of leadership, then I think that's going to really start shifting the dial. And it's really grateful that we have, figures like you that are, striving this research and data moving forward. So
I just pick up on something that I think is really important in terms of just the leadership aspect, because this really is something that, because we have hierarchical obedience, leaders do need to take the accountability. And I think the more we kind of move away from, big L in terms of leader versus just anyone can be a leader at any age, right? If you look at some of the movements that have been done by children, by teenagers, they are leading in either content, in capability, in impact, in societal legacy. You don't need to be a certain type of person to lead on something. So I think that aspect that you mentioned around leadership is really important.
We've got a few questions. There's a few on the chat, but there's also a couple that have been sent over to me. We're here to talk because it's Black History Month in the US. There's been some controversy about Black History Month in the UK. Does it incorporate people of all colour? And, you know, should we be talking about it? How should we celebrate it?
For me, it's something that I think is important, but I also think it's important to practice the behaviours all year round, right? I don't like International Women's Day. It's great, but I'm a woman all year round. I choose to be all year round, just like I'm Black all year round. So the contentious point for me is just the Black History Month. It's the month, right? Or the International Women's Week or the International Women's Day, however you look at it. So actually believing that you are able to actually do something, believing that you're able to change the world is the first step to actually doing that. Believing that you could be the CEO of a corporation or run your own successful business or be the president of the United States as a Black man, right? the belief has to, that for me is fundamental. And when I think about my life, and when I think about my experiences, and I think about the knocks and I think about the challenges, I almost block out sometimes the challenges. So when I get the question, what are the challenges? I think of a few challenges, but sometimes for me it goes back to well, mindset can help you bounce back, and that for certain is what happens to me.